All right, we're back, and the appearances are as before with the jury upstairs, and they have notified us that they have reached a verdict. Anything before we call the jury now? Okay.
They have reached a verdict. They have reached a verdict. Share this out right now. The judge just said they have reached a verdict. Get this out there. All right. Let's see. Share this out, everybody. Looks like we have a verdict. We do have a verdict. So, Angela, the judge just said we have one. So, make sure to share this out, guys. We're going to kind of go over this. This is going to be interesting. Let me grab a couple extra links here. Hang on one second. And as soon as we have sound, if you guys can give me a thumbs up and let me know if you guys can hear it okay. Why do I not show? Why not? Where did it go? All right. Sorry, I'm grabbing a link to. There we go. Cool. So, update for everyone. If you didn't see my video I just did a few minutes ago, they said it within the hour, and here we are not even 5 minutes later. So, and Eric, thank you, but no thank you. That's not appropriate. But we'll see. This is going to be interesting. Everybody buckle up their seats. I'm going to figure out what we're going to get here. He called the jury down. The judge did say, if you didn't hear me early on at the beginning of this, the judge did say we have a verdict. So we will hear a verdict.
Be seated maybe a few minutes while we...
This is going to be exciting. Okay, let's do another poll real quick. 1, not guilty. 2, he will receive some sort of charges. Let's see that. Let's see that in the comments. Seen a lot of 1s. It's good. Stacy thinks there's a 2. Jennifer 2. Okay. Still got quite a few 1s in here. That makes me. I feel the same way. I think we should get a 1.
And us, any of the other
I think we should get a 1.
That's the only exception.
But it makes me nervous with how long this has taken. We're going to have to see. Yes, Rose, as I can always count on you. Yes, everyone, please share it out. Let's get it out there. This is going to be something that everybody will want to know about. This is to make sure everybody knows the importance of this trial, on why it is so important. Is this becomes a problem if you are getting into the stage of where you need to have self-defense and you need to defend yourself. This case will be brought up in future cases to where they can refer to this and say, well, if Kyle Rittenhouse wasn't defending himself, then you didn't defend yourself. So this case could be used against any 2A person utilizing self-defense in protecting them or their family. So that is why this is so key and so important, that we need to be backing up and supporting Kyle Rittenhouse in this, that he really comes back with and not guilty. The defense doesn't look thrilled, which I hope they're just tired. Eric, it's up to you, man. You can come on if you want. I see you backstage. It doesn't matter. Yes, Alvin. As soon as this is done, he should sue the crap out of all media. He should sue the crap out of the city, and then he should sue Joe Biden for slandering him on social media and calling him a white supremacist. Absolutely, Ani. The verdict is decided. They do have a verdict. They did say the judge did say he has a verdict. We're just waiting for the announcement. They called in the jury. They're just waiting to pull everybody together. Carolyn, one was if you felt that he was going to be innocent or not guilty, or two, if he was going to receive some sort of charges. Okay, let's hear what they got to say.
Audience portion. No, it doesn't need to be. There can't be any reaction at all, no matter how strongly you may feel. And it's understood that many people do have strong feelings, but we can't permit any kind of a reaction to the verdict. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of law enforcement here, and you will be whisked out of here if there is any. So just be aware. Okay.
We all are, guys. We all are. But
Hello. Would you go down, please?
We'll see what happens.
Yes, thank you.
What do you mean? What are you confused by, or what does that mean? This will be interesting, guys. Let's see. You and me both, Sandy. I want that also. Yes, yes. Anybody with common sense knows it was self-defense. Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I think it's just to keep people calm, which you don't want to have an overreaction in the courts because there were some bad people that hung out with Gage and his militia group that he hung out with that was in the, I don't know what you call, in the courtroom, just witnessing it. So we're going to have to see. But this is going to be interesting. Everybody buckle up. This feed must be getting pounded right now.
Would you
Because the quality keeps going up and down really bad.
54.
54, and has the jury reached a verdict as to each count of the information?
Yes, we have, Your Honor.
One verdict and one verdict only.
Yes,
Would you hand all of the paperwork to the bailiff, please?
this is the ones that you didn't know.
Yeah, everything.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. May I see that too, please, Mrs. Chairman? Thank you.
Who do you think you are just popping in here like that?
The defendant will rise and face the jury and hearken to its verdicts.
State of Wisconsin versus Kyle Rittenhouse. As to the first count of the information, Joseph Rosenbaum, we, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the second count of the information, Richard McGinnis, we, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty.
Yes.
As to the third count of the information, unknown male, we, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty.
Yes.
As to the fourth count of the information, Anthony Huber, we, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty. As to the fifth count of the information, Gage Grosskreutz, we, the jury, find the defendant Kyle H. Rittenhouse not guilty.
Yes.
Members of the jury,
Straight docket. Straight docket, guys. Like that is not guilty on all counts. He's gonna walk out of the courthouse a free man today.
Okay, folks,
This
your job
upholds
is done,
the standard
and,
of
we started,
self-defense, not only in
about 3
Kenosha and Wisconsin itself,
and I
but across the
I
board for the
told
rest
you
of the
it could
country
last
now.
2 weeks and 2
There's
days.
a big question mark.
This is 3 weeks.
That's a just verdict.
You were a wonderful jury to work with. You were punctual. You were attentive. And the forgotten six over here who had a very difficult job of keeping from discussing the case during the time that they were sequestered as well. All of you, I couldn't have asked for a better jury to work with. And it has truly been my pleasure. I think, without commenting on your the verdicts themselves, just in terms of your the attentiveness and the cooperation that you gave to us, justifies the confidence that the founders of our country placed in you. So I dismiss you at this time. You're never under any obligation to discuss any aspect of this case with anyone. You're welcome to do so as little or as much as you want. The media have requested, a number of media sources have requested the ability to talk to you, and they have been allowed to present presentations to you that you'll get in writing, and it's entirely up to you whether you want to contact them. They are not to contact you. If anyone does contact you, and just tell them you're not interested in discussing it, if that's the case. And if anyone persists in doing so, report that to us and it will be addressed, I assure you. At the beginning of the trial, there was some concern about information and your safety. And I assure you that we will take every measure to ensure that that is your concerns are addressed and respected. I'm going to talk to you for just a minute, not about anything to do with the case, but just about that sole issue. And you, as I say, you're welcome to discuss the case as little or as much as you want. Any questions, anybody? Thank you so much. And you're after 4 years, you're eligible for service again. It would be my pleasure to work with you. Thank you. Yeah, please. Or in the they can attend in the library. It's not going to be more than a minute, or maybe it will be. Yeah, take them upstairs. That's fine. That's fine.
This is freaking nuts. This is awesome. This is freaking awesome. And everyone that you're crying, I'm not crying, you're crying. That's what's happening. But when it comes to this situation, this is a huge win for anyone that is a 2A member that wants to be able to defend their property, their family. This is a huge win to be able to stick with your Second Amendment rights and your ability to defend your property and your family. This is why this case is so important, even though some people are saying they don't want to hear it, but it is very, very important because this case will be reviewed and referred to in future court cases for a long time.
The jury has in this trial and has spoken.
And people
All right,
wanted to know why.
Motion of the defendant
People
is
wanted to know
granted.
why it was so important.
Charges
I'm
against
sorry.
the defendant on all counts are dismissed with prejudice, and he is released from the obligation of his bond. Anything else? Thank you. Good day.
Yes.
Say that again, Anthony.
The reason why this was so important, on top of just the Second Amendment rights, is the fact that this is going to, it essentially is going to show that the media can't bully. And what he is going to end up doing is going to set precedent for what the media is going to have to abide by. The one kid got a $250 million settlement. Unfortunately, I think the ramifications and and I don't care how much Rittenhouse gets, but there should be billions in fines to the media to show what they have done to a kid before he was ever found guilty. It affected the trial. It affected the way people are viewing the trial. And if there is rioting tonight, there should be businesses that sue the media 100% and sue them for millions and millions of dollars. This should change the accountability on the level of the media 100%, as long as, and I hope he doesn't, honestly, I hope he doesn't take the high road and goes, I'm a free man, I'm done. I hope he sues the living shit out of CNN, MSNBC, all of the major conglomerations.
One of the things that I really, there's a couple of things that I want to touch on is we need to pray for Kenosha. We need to pray for Wisconsin tonight, because even though this is the verdict that we believe is most just, there are people equally on the opposite side of the coin here, and they have threatened to burn down that city. So my hope and my prayer is that doesn't happen. So let's not forget there are still ramifications to these decisions. So I just I'll put that kind of that sentiment out there. Pray for Wisconsin tonight, and this weekend as things probably maybe get a little ugly. But one of the things I really want to point out, we had kind of a lengthy discussion specifically about why this jury was not sequestered, why there was no seemingly protection afforded to them that was, that pulled them away from the weight of the social world here. And I one thing I will say, and I'm kind of fighting back tears on this one a little bit too, which is we have to recognize this as an extreme win in the justice system. And when I say that, I mean that we can have some faith restored, that juries can do their job even when every inkling inside their body probably tells them that by making this decision, they're probably setting themselves up for some sort of peril. One of the things I will hope for as well is that not only does Kyle go ahead and file suit through his attorneys, I hope every single insurance company who has had to pay for a building to be rebuilt, a structure to be reconfigured, or a sidewalk to be repainted, turns around and sues the piss out of every media company who has run with lies, who has put disinformation out there into the public atmosphere, and more so has pumped the message from these hate groups that have stood outside the courtrooms trying to do their best to intimidate a jury that under all circumstances could have very easily come back with either a lesser charge or a guilty charge on at least one of these counts, for the simple sake of saving their personal ass from having to deal with consequences that may follow. And I just really want to make a point and say that it's great for individuals to sue. I think that needs to happen. This now sets an opportunity for insurance companies to sue the media. And I think that there is a lot of power to be put behind those companies who have been paying billions of dollars to rebuild cities that have been burnt to the ground by these hate groups. And so I hope that whatever happens after today is something that, again, is I hope the best in Kenosha. We know there's going to probably be some trouble, but we hope it's minimal. So again, prayers up. But the next step is to not only get individuals like Kyle to sue these media companies, but but for business owners to go to their insurance companies and beg and plead with them to sue the media for creating circumstances that they have lost everything in. And that is true justice. When the insurance companies who have paid billions of dollars to rebuild these cities suddenly take a turn and present lawsuits to these media companies who have who have voluntarily hyped these things up, you will see billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars being shoved out the door to try and make them go away. But they need to do that. And that would be my hope, is that insurance companies get involved here and say, you created the circumstances,
Well, it's 'cause,
you're going to own
Eric,
the
it's because of-
defamation and the inflammation.
Sorry,
Go
I
ahead.
think it was right when is my signal all right or no?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, go ahead.
Am I right? The big thing is accountability, and that's why this is why I was saying this is such an important case. This isn't a 17-year-old nobody. This was an 18-year-old nobody. This is an opportunity, because to me, the biggest divisive point of this country, and you could talk about whether or not this is important to have this case, a random shooting, and is it important? Not necessarily, but the ramifications on how the media play it could bring actual change to the most divisive point and part of our country, which is the media, which is huge. I mean, you got the Maxwell trial that just started today. Could this be a distraction? Absolutely. But is this a big deal?
It reestablishes the fact that personal defense of yourself and of your personal property is a statute that will be upheld in court. And they did it under the most insane social pressure situation. This really, for me, was a litmus test whether our justice system was up to snub. And they passed. At least in my mind, this is a home run, knocked out of the park, A++++. They did it in the face of tremendous potential consequences. And that's why I say pray for Kenosha, because things could get real out of hand, because there have been some significant threats for some significant opportunities for people to do stupid things. So I just want to say, my faith in the justice system is very high right now. I hope this sets a precedence for every juror who walks into a courtroom who's taking up a controversial case where there's a lot of dynamics at play, whether they're real or not. This was based on, there was a lot of race narrative involved here. There was a lot of, you have no right to self-defense narrative in here. There was extreme dynamics at play. And I can't sit here without notating that 100 times over, these 12 jurors, although we sat here and said we don't know what's going on, and we gave a lot of conjecture as to what may be happening, for them to come back after 4 days or 3.5 days of deliberation, and in the face of great consequence, still be willing to hand down a just verdict. This has to be a point of inflection, guys. And my hope is that this steamrolls into many cases that are being presented across the country as a narrative of race, of some sort of grievance that needs to be paid at a social cost. This is an important marker in time and in case law, that can be used for jurors to make more responsible decisions in the future that does not carry the weight of social penalty. Now, there may be a lot of effort to get to these people still, and so we cannot discount that. This is exactly why I say pray for Kenosha. But this is a tremendous win for the justice system, for Kyle Rittenhouse, and for the entire self-defense clause that we all operate under on a daily basis. And I just cannot discount that at all. I have to give appropriate credence to it. This is an incredible feat for these people to have overcome tremendous social pressure.
Yeah, and as you said, it's case law. Sorry, Casey.
Yeah.
There you can go. It's case law. This is, and people that don't understand the importance of this, I don't know what to tell you. This is a big deal because if he would have lost this case, I think it did more.
We're losing you on signal, man.
Go ahead. Casey, you know what I was going to say. Go for it.
Pretty much. I assume you're just referring to case law and how all the cases come in the future as they review all past trials and how they went, how they go through and how they were decided, and they refer to them on how they can influence the decision in their current trial, whatever it is. So if there was another self-defense case that was to come up in the future, they will pull this file and show the records and be like, this is the same situation. And they found self-defense. And sometimes that goes up to Supreme Court and they revalidate it and stuff like that. But that's why this is so important. The next thing is super important. We're going to go into Wikipedia and change Kyle Rittenhouse as the owner of MSNBC, because I think that's what we should do. He's really the owner of MSNBC at this point.
Mm-hmm.
All right. For them trying to do that, that was all shady stuff. But it's good news.
Yeah, and you know, some of these comments that are kind of filtering in, I'm just going to grab a couple of them out, and you know what? Up to this point, yeah, you're right. Nobody really has paid a penalty cost. And Connie, I want to address your comment specifically, which is, you know, these protesters, right? Really, at that point, they're rioters if they're burning and you know, cutting down cities. The only reason I want to address this is because a big part of what's happened over the course of the last year or so, year and a half now, has been the inability to hold people accountable because of the fact that there isn't a lot of faith in the justice system. And we have seen a few cases that have been very much so pressured socially. So to assume that that's never going to be the case, I'm just going to disagree with you really quickly and say, this sets a precedence that people now have 12 people have come together and said unequivocally, there is no guilty verdict here. And that gives credence and an opportunity for the courts now to potentially go and prosecute some of these people under the predication that a jury can reach a just verdict. I think a lot of what has happened is that these DAs have shoved it off, thinking they'll never get exactly what they need inside a court of law in order to prove intent, in order to go to a jury trial and ultimately get a prosecution. And it works both ways. So not guilty verdict in this circumstance means that those that have done wrong can be served a guilty verdict the same way, or with the same social pressures at play. So this is a win for the justice system. Whether, no matter how you dice it, it's a win for the justice system.
Agreed. I just threw out the link in the chat. This is the link for the Great American Summit. Just as a reminder for everybody, it's the big event we have going on with big names like Ian Smith. Ian Wentworth will be there. You have Anthony Russo that will be there. We have a whole bunch of people coming down to have a good time on January 7th and 8th in Irving, Texas. The link is in there. Go ahead and click that. You'll be able to get some tickets and be able to meet us. And we will all be the Change team will be there, minus Sumi, since she lives on the other side of Earth.
Hey, Casey, and I didn't tell you guys yet, but I talked to Barb yesterday. It sounds like with American Snippets, Be the Change will also be the host of the event. So it'll be an American Snippets, Anthony Be the Change hosted event. So because of all the work that you've done, Casey, and how we're trying to make it all work out, they wanted us to also be a host.
Fantastic. That's good news.
We love that. Absolutely.
Good news. But guys, I think we covered it. I'm not going to make a whole lot of promises for tonight. I anticipate there's going to be some crazy stuff. I want to cover some of it. So you might see me jump on later. I don't know if you guys are available tonight, but I might be covering some of the stuff going on tonight after this that we anticipate will be happening because Antifa doesn't show their face when the sun is out.
They're like vampires. They only come out at night and then they destroy everything.
So we'll see. But yeah, we'll probably be covering some of that tonight. is what I'm anticipating right now.
And as a reminder,
Yeah, hey,
this is not the
Hey,
only
True
major-
Stinker, make it out there. I'll throw the Great American Summit link back up real quick for you. Do check it out for us.
And as a reminder, this is not the only news going on. And there is, distractions. And this is, I don't think this is a distraction, but let's not forget the Ghislaine Maxwell trial started today, which is a huge deal, as well as the $1.85 trillion bill just got passed through the House officially. It's done. So there's big news that this isn't necessarily distracting from, but it is detracting from. There's a lot going on. So it's one of those, there's nothing of equal or lesser important or more or less importance. Everything has its purpose in what's going on in the world right now. So just, stay vigilant, pay attention.
Absolutely. Cool, guys. It's a fantastic Friday already. We're already off to a good start. Everybody, you have a fantastic weekend if we don't see you before then or talk before then. Anything you guys want to say and wrap up?
I'll just remind people to pray for Kenosha tonight. This is not just because we got a just verdict does not mean that the end of this story is over. So let's put some prayers out. Again, I just want to reiterate, this is a win for the justice system and gives a tremendous amount of restored faith to individuals who feel like justice can't be served. And I'll kind of leave it there, but check out our merch, awakenotwokestore.com. Check out Great American Summit. Let's get as many people out there as we can. It's going to be a wonderful event. And I'll leave it there.
All right, guys. Well, have a great day. We'll see you guys all later.